Learning English doesn't have to feel like school. In fact, the best way to improve your English is by doing exactly what you're doing right now, listening to stories. Stories teach you grammar, vocabulary, and natural expressions without you even realizing it. And the best part? You remember what you learn because you feel something. That's the secret. So before we jump into today's story, hit that like button, subscribe to RealSpeak, and ring the bell so you never miss another wild English learning ride. This one takes us to the colorful chaos of India, and let's just say, our main character got a little too relaxed. Eli had never been to a place as alive as India. The air was filled with 100 different smells, spices, street food, fresh fruit, and something smoky in the distance. Horns beeped non-stop, people rushed in every direction, and the bright colors of saris, signs, and shop displays flashed like a festival that never ended. It was hot. Really hot. The kind of heat that made your clothes stick to your skin and your brain slow down. Eli had landed in Delhi 2 days earlier and was already overwhelmed. He had tried the metro, walked through markets, and visited temples. But by the third afternoon, exhaustion caught up with him. He had just finished visiting a giant temple and wanted to head back to his guest house. But instead of walking or waiting for a bus, he spotted a tuk-tuk parked under a tree. The driver waved and smiled. Without much thought, Eli gave him the name of his neighborhood and climbed in. The tuk-tuk took off with a jerk and zipped into traffic like a toy car. Wind whipped past Eli's face. He felt the engine buzz beneath the seat and watched cows, scooters, and bicycles weave through traffic. The sound of the city became a blur of horns, shouting, and the buzz of life. But then something happened. Eli's eyes began to close. He didn't plan to sleep. He just leaned back, closed his eyes for a moment, and gone. He was out cold. The movement of the tuk-tuk, the heat, the noise that had become background music, it all wrapped him up like a blanket. He drifted into a deep sleep as the tuk-tuk kept moving. Who knows how long he slept? When Eli finally opened his eyes, everything looked different. The sun had moved lower in the sky. The streets were unfamiliar. There were fewer cars, fewer people. He sat up straight and looked around. The tuk-tuk was still moving, but the driver noticed Eli was awake and glanced at him through the mirror. Eli tried to remember the name of the area where he was staying. He tried to speak, but his brain was still foggy. He showed the driver the name again on his phone, and the driver just nodded. After another long ride through narrow alleys and past dusty shops, they finally stopped. It wasn't Eli's guest house. It was just a corner of the city, random and quiet. The driver shrugged, said something Eli couldn't understand, and pointed down a street. Eli got out, confused. He looked at his phone again. The location dot blinked on a map that meant nothing to him. He was lost. For the next hour, Eli wandered. He asked for directions, used translation apps, followed landmarks. At one point, he recognized a bakery he had seen the day before, and from there, he found his way back. He never found out why the driver took him to the wrong place. Maybe the driver was lost too, or maybe he just didn't understand. But Eli learned 2 things that day: never fall asleep in a tuk-tuk, and always make sure the driver knows exactly where you're going. Back in his room, sweaty and tired, Eli laughed at himself. It was scary, yes, but also kind of amazing. It made the day unforgettable. And it made this story unforgettable for you, too. Without even thinking about it, you picked up natural phrases like, climbed in, zipped into traffic, out cold, sat up straight, looked around, still foggy, and lost in a city. These are the phrases native speakers use every day, and now they're part of your vocabulary, not because you studied them, but because you lived them through story. That's what RealSpeak is all about. If you enjoyed this ride, like the video, subscribe, and turn on the bell. And in the comments, tell us, have you ever fallen asleep in a strange place? What happened when you woke up? We'd love to hear your story. See you next time.